Hi everyone, I am here with one of my business partners, Natasha Courtenay-Smith, aka Tash.
Hi.
So Tash, where are we?
Where are we right now? We are in the theatre at Huckletree, which is where our offices are, where Bolt Digital HQ is.
Cute pan shop. Explain what's Bolt Digital.
So Bolt Digital is the business that we have together.
Is it? Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, cool.
And it is a performance, well actually we do three key things. We build people's personal brands, we do performance marketing, so that's working with e-commerce brands or people who want to nail digital marketing for their businesses, and we train people in how to do these things themselves, build their personal brand or run their integrated marketing.
Awesome, cool. Let's talk about the big picture to start with. What is going on in the world of marketing and digital disruption and social media?
What's going on is that everything is changing really fast and faster than ever. So what we all know that the whole of the media has been disrupted. I'm from a print media background. That industry isn't going to exist in I don't know how many years, like maybe 5 years. It just, things are so different. So that means everybody's routes to market. So in your business, in Platinum Property Partners, you traditionally did old school marketing, and now you know
exhibitions, print adverts.
What else do you do?
Shoe leather, going out, talking to people in the real world.
But exhibitions,
having a book, building a personal brand, but doing it the old way. PR, we used to spend an absolute fortune on PR.
And all that stuff, A, doesn't really work anymore and isn't as effective.
At all?
Well, it's not as effective. Like, I remember when people would get a double page in the Daily Mail or something, and then it would be like their business was made for the next 2 years in terms of inquiries coming off that one article. And now that just doesn't happen. It's still good for brand building, but it doesn't happen in the same way. So not only, and that's just because people's attention is so diluted. Like, those papers and those outlets used to have everybody's attention. I mean, I remember like Sunday mornings waking up, and and this is going to say a lot about me, I just couldn't wait to get the news of the world and the Sunday Times.
Egg on toast, cup of tea.
Yeah, literally. They consumed my whole attention, and everything in them did, and I'd read them from cover to cover. And now my attention is just consumed by my phone and everything else, so people's attention is distracted. So that's why those things don't work in the same way. Obviously they still work to some degree. Plus there's all these new avenues for people to market themselves, basically all of which are running through the mobile phone on one channel or another within the mobile phone.
You talked earlier about how fast it's changing, and that's been, since we've been working together, 18 months?
Yeah.
I've just been amazed at, what was working 18 months ago and is not now. It's like Facebook ads were just like a license to print money at a certain point in time, and they can still work really well.
Oh yeah, they do still work really well, but one thing we've seen, but it's just like the more that bigger companies pour into these channels and put all their money and expertise and all their clout, then the more competitive the channels get. So what we've seen, talking about Facebook in particular, even in the past 10 months, since January, is a massive up-leveling of overall creativity on Facebook. So if we look at what we were doing 10 months ago for ads, what we were creating at Bolt Digital, where you could just create some stuff that was okay and it would work. Like the volume of ads we now create to get really good stuff, and the way our team has had to up-level their whole creativity and think more innovatively.
So we have a saying that we part of our intellectual property, which is kind of pretty crass, but we love it. Content equals cash. Let's talk about content equals cash.
So this was a saying that we said between ourselves, and never really think it would be a public saying.
And Luke as well, who's behind the camera.
Behind the camera, where we've always done content for the people we've worked for the past 4 years, and I've been doing content, but what we've really seen is, and we've just started measuring it more, I suppose, in terms of the content that you create, particularly around a personal brand, then needs to benefit that person. So you've seen it with the content you've created and how it's enabled you to what's
£500,000 in 10 months.
Right, £500,000 in 10 months. Content equals cash, you see.
Yeah.
And what we see from the stuff we do around me is anytime we put out a video, like all our leads for Bolt Digital now basically come through content, my videos, going out on social networks. So we started saying it as a joke, content equals cash. And then we said, like, hang on, content does equal cash. Like, that's actually not a joke, that's the truth. And then I told it at the book launch last week to like 100 people, content equals cash, and they all sort of thought, fine, I accept that.
Yeah. And I think it's, you've got people like thought leaders in America, the Gary Vaynerchuk and people like that of the world. But what I think is interesting, having done it on quite a small scale up until 2-3 weeks ago when we started doing it properly, with just a small group of people that knew me, so I kind of practiced in a small community, but the level of relationships, the engagements, like some of your stuff, we've had meetings with people that come in and say, I want to work with you. We've looked at lots of other marketing agents, but I've watched all your videos, I've read all your blog posts, I want to work with you. You're the person. It's just like, wow, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think what really I find very interesting is it's not just for CEOs, founders, business owners. We've got a great story, haven't we, with the air conditioning company?
Yeah, we've put this personal brand strategy onto not the founder of an air conditioning company, but their head engineer, so an employee, and he's been doing weekly videos for a year now. They've been working with us for a year. This guy is now like a celebrity in his niche. When he goes to people's houses, they're excited. He had a fan message this morning, actually. Yeah, on Facebook, I should show it to you. He had a fan message. I was like, Sava the celebrity engineer strikes again.
But he's actually a salesman as well, right? He's going there to sell air conditioning.
He's an engineer. Yeah, he's going there to quote. So his job is to go to the houses, measure their flat, quote for the systems, give them their quote, and then he runs the installation team. So he's a proper, practitioner in air conditioning. But he arrives at people's houses now to do his quotes and measure up and whatever and check their houses, and people are excited to see him. And that's really great because it shows that these principles work in any niche.
Dog going up in the background. You allow pets here, it's cool. Great, so we are helping people, aren't we, at all different levels that want to build their personal brand in the digital age.
Yeah.
Because what I see is a lot of people doing it really badly.
Yeah.
They've seen the Gary Vaynerchuk video or Casey Neistat or some of these kind of American people, and so people are now just literally taking their phone with them, talking drivel in some instances, and actually when we do this, A, you've got the book, but B, it's like my personal brand. We've worked it together as a 50-page document for my personal brand strategy. Yeah?
The document is quite long though.
Yes, it is, and it can be summarised, and it does get summarised down to one page.
So it's going to get summarised.
It's like a business plan, right? It's the thinking that goes behind it. Not that people are going to read 50 pages, but it's like, where's the strategy? What are my outcomes? Who am I trying to communicate to? What am I trying to say? And then how often would we film content, and how does that get?
No, I think the thing is as well is that people want to do their personal brands, and they try, so they do a few videos, but it's actually a massive resource. Like if we look at what goes into your personal brand now, there's no way one person can do that. It's a massive resource. So most people go through this thing when they do a few videos, film them badly, and then think that didn't work, and that's not really what makes something work. It's just trying to do a few videos and film publishing, and then it does, and then just giving up. And that's the reality for most people who want to do this, is they underestimate. It's like all the people who become successful bloggers or influencers, the effort they put in is absolutely tremendous, and most people cannot do that because it's just, you have to have such belief in the long term. You have to go through such a period when you're not really getting anywhere, you're not sure, though actually what we've seen with our personal brands is it's worked really fast. But for other people, it can be a slower uplift, and then the time it takes to prioritise content, it's just difficult when you're also running a business.
And it's got to be right for each platform, isn't it? What you've got on Insta's got to be different to Facebook, to LinkedIn.
This is another way things have changed. So 18 months ago we could have created content once and put it across all platforms. This is at Bolt Digital, and now the duplication and editing for different platforms is another resource. You didn't used to have to do that, but everything is fragmenting and changing the whole time.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've got a waiting list of people that want us to do their personal brand.
But I've got a waiting list of people who want to talk to me on the phone.
Well, that's what Luke's for, and the team.
Literally.
But it's just kind of exploded where we're doing this for them in the same way that you guys are helping me to do it, and the team are doing it with you. We're doing that with more people now, which is great. But also we're starting to teach other people how to do it. Aren't we? I was just thinking about the type of people that it's relevant to. So it can be relevant to employees in client-facing roles, that sort of thing, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, but also talk to us at the other end of the spectrum are kind of celebrities, right? You've worked with Jeremy Vine, you've worked with members of Parliament, you've worked with pop stars, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so where celebrities have a particular interest is, and again, it's like what topics work well in any media landscape. So like fashion, beauty, celebrity content is a staple of any magazine or media outlet or TV channel ever. So celebrity content, not surprisingly, does well in the social landscape because people are interested in celebrities. So A, they can build this influence really fast, but B, what was super cool when I was working with Jeremy Vine is we were able to create stories that the media would then pick up on. So create and publish stuff on his social feeds that then all the newspapers, we had one story that not only reached about 2 million people on his social feed, but got picked up for the next 5 days in every newspaper. It was like the Sunday Times column wrote about it, what he'd been talking about. It was in every daily paper, and it was a really great example because we haven't talked about this, about how PR is so frustrating, and that's one of the downsides of the old media model. Yeah, we're doing another video. With Jeremy, we then realised you don't need to do an interview, you don't need to take that risk of sitting with some journalist and then doing it under their steam and their angle, because we can just create stories and all the media are going to pick up on it anyway, so you're literally creating your own publicity.
Hope that's useful. Any questions? Ask me, ask Tash. Probably Tash, she knows lots more than I do. But if you want more of this kind of stuff, let us know.